What's up YouTube? Welcome to the Upgrade Gears channel. Xbox has been lagging behind PlayStation when it comes to exclusive video games, but this year Xbox is making moves to change all of that. In this video, I'll be showing you 10 upcoming video games that are exclusive to the Xbox Series X and Xbox One. Most of these games are set to be released in 2021, but some games will come out in 2022. So without further ado, here are 10 upcoming Xbox Series X and Xbox One exclusives. Number 1. Crossfire is one of the most popular FPS games in Asia, with 650 million registered players over its 10-year history. Crossfire is known for its competitive multiplayer modes, and has been a strong competitor against games like Counter-Strike. Now the legendary franchise is coming exclusively to Xbox, with a new title called Crossfire X. Crossfire X will be a fast-paced, first-person shooter with a variety of exhilarating multiplayer modes, and an epic cinematic campaign. Explore the global conflict between the world's two most formidable private military factions, Blacklist and Global Risk. Global Risk agents use advanced technology to fight for order and security, while Blacklist mercenaries fight to destabilize regimes in the name of freedom. As you pick a side and battle players in an epic global conflict across a variety of classic and innovative multiplayer modes. Remedy Entertainment are in charge of creating the single-player campaign for Crossfire X and bringing years of Crossfire lore to life. Crossfire X was supposed to be released in 2020, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the game's release date has been delayed until 2021. Number 2. Ninja Theory's upcoming psychological horror game, dubbed Project Mara, will take place entirely in a single upscale apartment, with some serious technology being utilized to create incredibly realistic textures, lighting, and more. Project Mara will be a real-world and grounded representation of mental terror, based on real lived experience accounts and in-depth research. Project Mara is an in-development, experimental game from Ninja Theory. You may know Ninja Theory from their work on games like DMC, Devil May Cry, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and Bleeding Edge. We don't know the release date for Project Mara yet, but more information on the game will be released in the coming months. Number 3. The long-awaited follow-up to the dearly beloved Stalker trilogy will return players to the Zone, a heavily contaminated and extremely dangerous area surrounding the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Stalker 2 introduces a completely new main protagonist. His actions will shape the new grand chapter in the history of the Zone. Stalker 2 will officially be a seamless open-world game. For the first time in the series, the Zone will be yours to explore as a post-apocalyptic open world, one of the biggest ones to date. This first-person survival shooter series is known for its bleak atmosphere, terrifying monsters, mutants, and extremely unforgiving combat. Bounty hunters delve deep into the Zone, driven by its treasures and mysteries. Some of them are running from their past, others are blinded by money, and some are obsessed with finding the truth behind all the mysteries. We don't know the release date for Stalker 2 yet, but we can assume that the game will be released in 2021. Number 4. Inspired by the classic snowboarding game Amped, Shredders puts you on top of the coolest slopes, free ride spots, and snow parks, aiming to recreate the sheer joy of riding down a mountain. Shredders will deliver high-end graphics, next-gen physics, and a perfect blend of fun and realism, all in a social context. The game's developers say Shredders has multiplayer baked into its core, so you can explore the vast mountain range on your own or discover the best spots with your friends. Shredders will be coming exclusively to Xbox and will be released in the winter of 2021. Number 5. Exomecha is a free-to-play online competitive first-person shooter that takes place on the recently discovered planet of Omeka, where multiple species from across the galaxy are warring with each other, hoping to seize control of the planet's abundant resources. Exomecha throws players into an immersive experience thanks to high-quality visuals, flexible gameplay, giant mechs, special gadgets, abilities, massive boss battles, and unique gameplay. There will be 3 unique game modes. The first one will focus on large-scale team-based battles. The second one will be a specialized battle royale mode, and the final one will be a small-scale objective-based game mode. Besides controlling mechs, you'll be able to control other vehicles like spider tanks. Exomecha is expected to be released during the 3rd or 4th quarter of 2021. Number 6. A sequel to the open-world zombie survival game series, State of Decay is on its way. Every State of Decay area has been set in fictional counties in America so far. The State of Decay 3 announcement trailer is set in the winter and shows how the plague has manifested in the new game. Previously, State of Decay only featured human and mutated human enemies, indicating that the plague has now spread from humans to animals as well. The game developing company Undead Labs has not released any new details about their game. Since July 2020, State of Decay 3 has been in active development. Undead Labs noted that the game is in pre-production planning and that they've been working on it for some time. In a previous interview, the head of Xbox Game Studio, Matt Booty, noted that they expect State of Decay 3 to be a much bigger and persistent online game. He also said that Microsoft's investment would help Undead Labs finish the game sooner. There is no official release date yet, but State of Decay 3 will most likely be released in 2022. Number 7. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 will have you take control of Celtic warrior Senua and guide her through an emotionally harrowing quest that's both immersive and ambitious. The Hellblade series takes a thoughtful look at mental illness through the lens of a historical action game, and Hellblade 2 looks like it will continue the trend. Currently, there hasn't been any information about the details of Hellblade 2. Since the Hellblade 2 trailer was all pre-rendered cutscene footage, it's hard to say what the gameplay might actually look like. In theory, it'll resemble the first game, which was part exploration and part combat. The exploration sections challenge Senua to interact with environmental objects and solve puzzles. The combat sections let Senua string together simple combos to take on both human and supernatural foes. Neither half was incredibly complex, but the balance between the two worked well, and helped keep the story moving forward at a respectable clip. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is assumed to be released in 2022. Number 8. A new game is coming from the developers of the best-selling and award-winning franchise Warhammer End Times Vermintide and Warhammer Vermintide 2. Warhammer 40k Darktide is a visceral 4-player co-op action game set in the hive city of Tertium. Fight together with your friends against hordes of enemies in this new Warhammer 40k experience. Built on the legacy of Vermintide 2's highly praised melee combat, Darktide introduces deep and balanced gunplay to the mix. Master the balance between ranged and melee combat as you fight through a slew of enemies, feeling the impact of each swing of your chainsword or blazing gunfire from your laser gun. We can assume that Warhammer 40k Darktide's combat will be like Vermintide, which is at a real sweet spot, arcadey and accessible, but with plenty of depth when you try to master it. You only have a few actions to think about in a given moment, with an attack, charged attack, block, push, and dodge. Different classes and their various weapon sets are well distinguished. Unlike Vermintide, Darktide will have more choices when it comes to ranged weapons. The new focus on ranged weapons fits the setting of the game, which is in the 41st century. Darktide could possibly include rifles that fire ionized plasma, or the Melt-A-Gun, a short-ranged heat ray with the energy output of a nuclear meltdown. There's also the iconic Bolt Gun, a pistol-grip semi-automatic with the caliber of an elephant gun that fires self-propelled explosives. Warhammer 40k Darktide is expected to be released in 2021. Number 9. In Arc 2, players will be thrust into a brutal new world of primitive survival against both beast and man. Facing down the ever-present threats of hyper-realistic intelligent dinosaurs, aggressive alien fauna, and the exotic environments of an unearthly planet, survivors will continue Arc's dramatic, eon-spanning story of humankind's evolution in this next-generation sandbox survival experience. Arc 2 will also feature Vin Diesel as a hero character, Santiago, who will also be a crossover character in the upcoming Arc the Animated Series. While Vin Diesel will lend his acting talents to Arc 2, he is also a massive fan of the franchise, now serving as an executive producer on the game's sequel and having logged over 1,000 hours in Ark Survival Evolved. There is no official release date for Ark 2, but it can be expected to be released sometime in 2022. Number 10. Scorn is an atmospheric first-person horror adventure game that is set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. It is designed around the idea of being thrown into the world as the player is isolated and lost inside a dreamlike setting, allowing them to explore different interconnected regions in a non-linear fashion. Every location contains its own theme, puzzles, and characters that are integral in creating a cohesive world. Players will quickly learn that even the unsettling environment is a character itself. Scorn puts an emphasis on world building and will be non-linear. There won't be any cinematic cutscenes. It is a first-person atmospheric horror adventure game that will have players traveling around its mysterious world to solve puzzles and fight enemies. While players can fight off enemies with weapons, inventory space is limited, so players will have to use what they have to adapt to any given situation. If you adore first-person horror games like Agony, Alien Isolation, and Outlast 2, then Scorn should definitely be on your radar. Scorn is expected to be released in 2021. All of these games are Xbox exclusives. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please drop a like, and if you want to watch more videos like this, then subscribe to the Upgrade Gears channel for more video game content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.